Stop focusing on how to lose weight.
Unleash your power, achieve your potential.
I'm John Calarco, Holistic Health and Performance Coach. If you've wanted to lose a certain amount of weight for a long period of time, or achieve your ideal physique or a certain physique that you have a goal to achieve, then in this video, I'm gonna explain to you why focusing on losing weight is the wrong goal and what you should focus on instead. Now, just a little quick background on the weight loss industry and just the weight loss world in general. The weight loss industry itself is estimated to be about a $200 billion industry. Yes, with a B, billion. And within that industry, you have so many different types of diets and meal plans and exercise programs and all these different approaches, surgeries, medical procedures for people to lose a certain amount of weight. But the problem is that that is completely deceiving when you see a lot of focus on losing weight, and maybe you see these big transformations supposedly of people losing all this weight in a short period of time, people losing 40 pounds, 20 pounds in a month. And that is definitely possible, but if we're losing weight that fast, chances are we're losing the wrong type of weight. So there are two types of weight that you can lose, and really essentially two things that your body is made up of. Okay, first you have fat mass, okay, so that's your body fat. And then you have your lean body mass, which consists of your muscle tissue, your skeletal, your bone structure, your organs, okay? And water as well is considered part of your lean body mass, okay? So you have these two types of body mass that we can lose. Now, as you can probably guess already, we don't want to lose any lean body mass. We want to preserve muscle tissue. We don't want to degenerate our bones in any way and have those, shrink or become smaller and weaker, which can often be a problem with, osteopenia and things like that, which can be a very real thing. If we're under eating, that can definitely happen. And then of course, we don't want to lose weight through dehydrating, right? And losing water, starving ourselves of carbohydrates, which are mainly made up of water, which is another trick. And one of the reasons why you may see these huge transformations of people losing all this weight in one time, but then when they eat carbohydrates again and rehydrate, or the normal amount of carbohydrates that their body needs to function, then they end up gaining most of that weight back, or at least a significant portion of it. All right, so we don't want to lose any lean body mass. All we want to lose is body fat to achieve our weight loss goals. So the goal should be how to lose body fat, not weight, but body fat, okay? So again, that's why it can be so deceiving when so maybe you want to lose weight really fast, or you see, maybe some testimonials from some program that claims you can lose this amount of weight in a certain amount of time, and really it's BS. You're not gonna lose the right amount of weight if you're losing that much weight that fast. It's pretty easy to do if you starve yourself and dehydrate yourself. You can lose a ton of weight, but you're gonna lose a lot of lean body mass, which is really important. Now, lean body mass is not only important just for keeping us strong and mobile and moving well throughout our environment and keeping our joints and bones and tendons resilient to injuries and ligaments as well, but it's also important for the purpose of it is the most metabolically active tissue in the body. So what does that mean? It means that muscle actually helps you burn more calories and it requires more calories. It's more metabolically active than fat. So what that means is if you have more muscle on you, you're gonna burn more calories naturally. That's gonna make it easier for you to achieve your fat loss goals, okay? So that's why we don't just wanna lose as much weight as we can, because then we're putting ourselves in a position where we have to eat even less to achieve our weight loss goals. All right, so it's really important to understand that. Now, when we talk about losing body fat, okay, we talk about generally a percentage, okay, of body fat that you are. You can even calculate that into how many pounds of fat you actually have on the body. But for the most part, we use body fat percentage, and most assessment tools will measure body fat percentage. Some will measure both, but body fat percentage is a great place to start and a great focus for you on what to lose. Now, just a quick clarification. There's a difference between body fat percentage and what people often get confused with BMI. So BMI is your body mass index. Now, that's a measure of height and weight where there's a formula that you use and you enter in your height and your weight, and essentially that calculates a number for you, and then there's a scale that comes along with BMI that lets you know if you're obese or not, okay? So BMI is the marker that's used to determine obesity. So BMI is not really a great measure, and we definitely want to focus more on body fat percent. The reason it's not a great measure is sometimes it can be misleading. If you tend to be shorter and you have a lot of muscle mass, you can actually be considered obese. A lot of professional high-level athletes are considered obese based on that measure. So I just want to make that clarification for you here that We don't want to worry about our BMI. That's not really a great measure to use to assess our body composition. Assessing our body fat percentage is what we want to focus on. And then of course, if we can assess our muscle mass at the same time, that's really the best of both worlds, okay? Our skeletal muscle mass. All right, now, we want to set the right goal based on that information, and then we need to be aware of what are the ranges that we should be in for men and women, okay? So according to InBody, the ideal range for men in terms of body fat percentage is going to be between 10 and 20%, and then the ideal range for women is going to be about 18 to 28%, all right? So the goal that we should be setting is to get somewhere within that range, okay? And these ranges have been correlated with the lowest amounts of chronic diseases, okay, which is some of the research that supports being at those levels. And then of course, just if you want to have a good looking physique and you want to be lean, you want some abdominals to show, typically that happens more at the mid ranges of those ranges that I just mentioned. So maybe like 15% for men and 23% for women. So somewhere in those ranges is where you want to be if you really want to have a lean, chiseled physique, okay? But again, that's going to be where we want to keep our focus. So for you, the first thing to do is to assess, all right? There's many different ways that you can do that. You know, you can use different scales. InBody has a great scale that I've used for years and years, which, gives you probably the most comprehensive breakdown of your body composition, but there's plenty of really good home scales that you can use as well. I use one called Withings with my clients, and it actually syncs right up with the PHP coaching app, so I can track on a weekly basis how my clients are doing on their body composition. And again, that's just a home scale that you can get. I think it's around like $100. So that's an easy way for you to get an assessment on body fat percentage, and it also gives you muscle mass. So that's a good one. And there are other good, highly rated ones out there on the market, but that's really what you want to use to assess your body composition. And really, you could kind of throw the weight number out the window. Now, of course, the weight number does have some value, and it is important to have an idea. It does have some correlation with your health and whatnot. But again, the weight that we want to be losing is weight from body fat. Okay, we want to make sure it's specifically that. So try not to focus so much on that weight number. You don't have to ignore it completely. You can still have a range of where you feel like you are best. But remember, we want to preserve lean body mass as much as humanly possible and potentially even increase our muscle mass a little bit so we can be stronger, we can move better, do the activities, the sports that we love with more resiliency, feeling better, having less injuries, and then just focusing on losing body fat, which, again, has all these different negative, health effects on us, and, really isn't just a piece of tissue sitting there. It actually, a lot of research shows, recent research in the last 10 years or so, show that body fat is also an active tissue and can actually act like an endocrine organ, meaning that body fat can elevate, cortisol levels, and it can lead to all these different negative effects even on the immune system. So that's the other reason why body fat itself should be the goal and not just losing weight, okay? So once you assess, then how do we achieve the goal, right? That's a little bit outside the scope of this video, and we'll be going through 10, 20 more minutes of explaining that, but check out some of the other videos on the channel about how to train properly and how to take a holistic approach to improving and maximizing your health, performance, and fitness. Now, I also did a previous video on the PHP method, which really gives you the blueprint and explains exactly the habits and the focuses that you need within the 6 pillars of holistic health, which are the mind, the breath, sleep, hydration, nutrition, and movement, okay? So within those 6 pillars, we have to address all 6 of those and really achieve and establish the essential habits within those 6 pillars. That's the most effective way to sustainably lose the body fat that we want to lose and achieve our best health, performance, and fitness. So I'd highly recommend to check out that video. I'll leave it here for you. That will really give you some context on how we go about achieving this goal, and not just achieving it fast, but achieving it sustainably, which really is the most important thing at the end of the day. The most important thing is that we maintain it, not necessarily how fast we get there, okay? So it's important to go at your own pace. All right, so I hope that was helpful for you. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy this video and this was helpful for you and maybe shifted your mindset around what you should be focused on losing, and now hopefully changes your framework of what you're tracking and measuring in terms of achieving your best physique and body composition. All right, then make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. I have many more videos coming your way on the channel, and I've done a bunch already on how to achieve your best body composition and optimize your health, fitness, and performance. Drop any comments below if you have any questions, and until the next one, unleash your power, achieve your potential.